What's up, diggers? Prospector here with Watcher of Realms. Yesterday I released a video about whether or not you should summon for this event, and I said I had 21 ancient summoning crystals and a dream, and I was gonna pray. So not really thinking it was gonna be anything big, I decided to go ahead and pull, and I wasn't gonna make like a summon video or anything like that. But I did happen to record it, and I have it pulled up right here. I'll start playing it here and see what we get. I didn't expect anything to happen. I already have like 3 lords. See, I got it Nero, which isn't really a big deal. Wasn't too excited about that. And here comes another 10. Here it comes. Look at that. So we joke about in our Discord channel all out about this. My account is just like truly blessed as far as like the heroes that I pull, especially when it comes to like 15 times or 10 times in the past. I 80% of the time get the 10 times hero. So here you go again. This has been my most wanted hero for a really long time. I'm really pumped up about it. I already have her upgraded. I already have her some gear on her, and I skilled her up to the point where she needs crystals. And in this video, I thought I might as well try to see what we can do with her. Alright, so here we are, looking at Aracha. I have her, like I said, fully 6-star, level 60. Just got her promoted to the last level. I already have a gear set on her. I'm going with Soulbound Arcana just because that's kind of the only set I have laying around right now that's extra. And I am going to be running her exclusive artifact, which isn't even maxed. But that says on their base attack restores 1% rage. The ultimate duration becomes infinite starting from the 3rd activation. So when she hits it the 3rd time, it's just pretty much on the rest of the fight. She's not crazy for damage from what I've seen so far, but next to 30%, I think that's just fine for now. I think Ageless Wrath would probably be a better set for her. Definitely not Infernal Roar, but there's probably some non-premium sets that kind of fit the role. Of course, if you have like a really good Invigoration set, you could use that too and try to Invig somebody. Going over her skills, the talent, when Aracha attacks unblocked targets, increases damage by 20% and crit rate by 10%. She has a pretty good range, and since she's a fighter, yeah, has this pretty good range. And if they're not on her, she gets that bonus from her talent. I think in the guild boss, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it considers you blocking anywhere in the fighter zone. For a Lord skill, this is a big one. This is what it's really all about. Piercing Vision 3. Increasing faction team members' basic attributes by 15%. That's pretty standard for a legendary Lord. Faction team members' attack ranges are also increased. So just like in an area, they get an extra reach on their attack range. For every 1 tile away from the target, increases their damage by 5%, up to 50%. So right away I'm thinking, okay, Edril here, if we can find her, is a piercer, and she has this ultimate which during the skill effect, each basic attack fires 3 consecutive shots to one enemy, each dealing 80% damage, lasting for 25 seconds. During the ultimate, the hero's attack range becomes unlimited, and her attacks no longer prioritize airborne units. I was right away thinking to her because she could shoot all the way across the map, so she could definitely get that whole 50%. She's probably the only one that can. Or is she now? But otherwise, Silas and Hex, another good options, especially in the guild boss, because I kind of always set them off as far away as I can, and they're gonna at least get like 15% on for each of them, just from the Lord skill from bringing Aracha along. The ultimate, the hero evolves, increasing damage by 40% and hitting 1 more target for 20 seconds. The basic attack is physical, deals 100% damage to 1 enemy, including airborne units. It's pretty straightforward. Goes up to 120% with skills. One of the passives is Spire Toxin. Attacks inflict Spire Toxin on the target for 3 seconds. When a target dies under Spire Toxin effect, it will explode, dealing 20% AoE damage to surrounding enemies and inflicting poison. And obviously you can get that, what, 2, 3, 4, 5 more percent from the spider toxin. And then the last passive is Messy Web. After every 5 attacks, the next attack will ensnare the target in spider webs and inflict stun on them, lasting for 2 seconds. If the target is airborne, the effect duration is extended to 3 seconds. And that can be skilled up as well. The Awaken is interesting. When in spider stance, increases all damage by 20%. I believe that's the ultimate, so whenever she's doing this, she gets a 20% increase. If you combine that with her artifact, after the 3rd ultimate, it stays on forever, so she just gets a full-on 20% for the rest of the fight. The Awaken 2, extra attack with 300, increases faction team members' damage to airborne units by 5%. Understand why that's pretty nice. Especially with Idril, all she does is, well, she gets an extra bonus to airborne units anyways. And Awaken 3 increases the duration of Spider Toxin and Poison by 2 seconds. Can't argue with that. Awaken 4 is Rage Regen, which is when she does damage, she gets an extra 2. Awaken 5 is when an enemy with Spider Toxin dies, deals 110% AoE damage to nearby enemies affected by poison, 1 more time. So I think she does that. Let's see. Is it dealing 20% AoE damage? Enemies inflicted by inflicting poison, and then this will bring it up to 110%. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyways, I wanted to go and try her out in there's 2 things that I really want to try her out in, and that is the guild boss. Right now I'm running Lust, Arrogance, Salazar, and then I'm running the 2 Piercers without a Lord, that's Silas and Hex. And then I bring in the Laurel and Hollow for like a Rage Regen comp. And I'm wondering if I take out Salazar, because I only get about 60 million off of him, if he will increase Silas and Hex damage enough, and plus bring enough damage of her own, that I'll have a little better of a score on the guild boss. Or maybe I'll just like it more anyways, just because. Let's find out how this goes. Alright, we're gonna head right into the Gear Raid 3. And I'm gonna leave Power of Dominance on, because I just want to see if it'll speed up my team. At this point, I've already beaten it, so it's not going to really make much of a difference. If you haven't beaten it, it's going to make a huge difference over Lunaria, just because Idril is going to be going in there. And I think that I won't need Constance, I won't need Hatsuit. Let's see, I need all these guys. I don't think so, but I'm going to bring them anyways, just in case. Let's get started. If you're not familiar with this, I'll kind of go over the comp a little bit as I'm going, but I'm not going to take too much time. I plan on making a guide for it at some point. First thing you do is put your Silas down, and he's going to start attacking, and there's that extra attack range. And he's getting the extra damage. He was doing like 85, 90 before. Now he's over 100. Same thing with her, but she's not going to be able to hit them yet. Dolores is Invigoration, so I'm going to point her at Silas, and he should pick up the attack buff. She did. Extra 10% for him. Hopefully I wasn't too late on placing down Idril. And I'm not going to place anybody over here. I'm just going to use Idril to wipe out all 3 of these guys. As soon as Laurel's ready, I'm going to put her down, pick her up, activate. What I'm kind of hoping is that when the boss comes out, he'll move forward, get within Silas's range, and once he does, I'm going to hit him with Silas and hopefully just one-shot him. There we go. I think it's gonna happen. There she goes. Now at this point I can pick up Silas. I'm not going to use him anymore. And I don't even have to place Aracha. And Gear Raid 3. I can, however, place Nyx over here. I'll activate Hollow. And as soon as I can, I'm gonna put Laurel back down, and don't think I'm gonna pick her up. I'm gonna try to see if I can get Egil to ultimate after or before without picking her up, because it increases her damage. And Laurel's out on the field and an ultimate's activated. Come on, Egil. Let's activate this. Make sure they're out of the way. Come on. There we go. As soon as that's dead, place down Silas. Egil might take care of him by herself anyways, but whatever. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. Gotta pick him back up because the unit will come out here and get him otherwise. Within the next 40 seconds, I'll place him down when he's ready. Or after the next one's cleared, I mean. Speed this up a little bit. Alright, here he comes. Hit him. Place Silas down again. Egil's gonna pick off at these guys a little bit. Nyx is not in great gear. I think she's in some random first set. I don't even know what she's sitting in. I'm hoping they take that out. And Silas can quick kill these guys. Hopefully we get a new record. Come on. Well, that made a heck of a difference. Not been updated. I'm gonna update it manually because it looks better. I did it earlier, messing around before the video, so the speed is like, I think it was like 318, I believe. Big fan of the upgrade. I think I'm gonna move on to Guild Boss and see what the difference is there. Right here we are at Guild Boss. We got Nightmare 4. I have Torador the Lord, Arrogance, Lust. You gotta bring Volca to cycle Laurel in and out. And of course Dolores. We have Aracha. I showed her gear already. She's in a Soulbond set. About 15k attack, 356 crit damage. She's not crit capped. Let's see, Silas is pretty nutty. He's in my best gear. Infernal Roar set, 13k attack, 355 crit damage. Yes, I could make his crit damage higher, but I find that having his attack a little bit higher for other content like Void Rift and just whatever pops up, it's a little nicer to get past those defenses. I don't have to worry about bringing Dolores with. In Guild Boss, it's different because you're bringing Dolores, and every time he ults, he's hitting with a boost. Hex. Excuse me. Soulbond Arcana set. 14.2k with 359 crit damage. Is crit capped. 1.1 second interval. Hollow is an Invig set. 85% rage regen. Let's see. 13k attack. 1.4 second attack interval. I do have, yep, attack speed and rage regen sets, or pieces on her. Laurel is also an Invig, just to give an extra boost. She also, I have like an almost maxed out Nightmare Samsara on her, just because every once in a while you keep her out on there on the field, and that's just to take advantage of her, what is it, passive here. Grants damage increase, which is plus 20% for 8 seconds to allies every time they use their ultimate. However, this effect won't trigger during her own ultimate. So you need to make sure that she's not using her ultimate when using Silas and Hex and Lust and all them guys. Otherwise, this will not activate but I like to keep her out every once in a while, but not continuously. Polka leaves the Invig. Try to get some damage out of her. You don't end up getting a lot. Corridor, I do put him down a little more often. He is in Aegis Wrath, 18.2k attack, almost 300 crit damage, not crit capped. Alright, let's get it started. I just want to stop right here and explain that I was going to do like almost like a guide walkthrough for the guild boss, or at least I had it all recorded, but I decided to change it up last second and turn it into a time lapse. So just enjoy the time lapse and then look at the results at the end. Alright. So, I think I picked up about 45 million from Silas and Hex from Aracha being on the field. And then I got about 17 out of Aracha herself, which I was usually getting 60 million out of Salazar, so that kind of lines up. And that kind of makes sense why it didn't really have a lot of an effect on the overall score. But, like I said before, Aracha is not skilled out. And just to show that, your ultimate is 3 from being skilled out, which is another 20% damage. Duration doesn't really matter. Their basic attack, another 20% damage on that, which is pretty much what she's using the whole time. Extra toxin damage. Let's see, on the target for 3 seconds. When the target dies, yeah, so an extra 2% toxin or continuous magic damage per second that's being lost. I don't think the messy web has any effect on it. So she's about 1, 2, 3. Say no. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 skill crystals if they land on here on these 3. From being completely maxed out, I'm gonna assume that she's probably gonna get about 30 million on the guild boss, if I had to guess, but I could be wrong. I think it just about sums up the video. Aracha is an amazing hero if you got lucky enough to pull her. So happy for you. Also, I wanted to, just for a moment, I wanted to quickly plug the Discord in here, and I wanted to show you guys quickly what I'm working on. Alright, I just got this finished off as like a new welcome page. Quick links about the server, how to help, just to go explore stuff. Let's see. I have the attack speed interval breakpoints all listed in here. All you have to do is come up to the top, use the quick links to find your hero's attack speed interval. Go say click on 2.5. Right here it is. If you wanted to get her down to 1.5, it shows you need 201 attack speed. Gear rate drop chances, I forget who did this little study. It wasn't a huge study, but it does kind of show, and it's useful. I'm going to be working on taking some in-game screenshots, maybe making some wallpapers, throw them up there as well. But the big one is the hero list. At the hero list, we have the factions. And let's say we want to find Torador. Click on the faction up there, and then you go down to the Lords and Torador. And it'll bring you right to the Torador page. And on here I have faction he is, the overall ranking, the tier list for each of the stages, what sets to be using for late, mid, and early game. Mixed sets obviously usually is going to be what the early game says, but yeah, mid game, Night Terror, the Wisdom, the Doom. Late game, you're going to use Infernal Roar, Soulbound Arcana, and Aegis Wrath. And that's for the right side. On the left side, I have late game stuff too. It's the same kind of order. I also show the main stat priorities and the substat priorities for each of these pieces. The suggested artifact and Prospector's tips, which I'm going to be changing that to Prospector's dig. On here, I'm going to be showing, basically just kind of reviewing the hero and calling out certain things if he's good at something special or why I'm building him a certain way. But I just wanted to invite you that the link is down in the description down below. I think that's it. Until next time, keep digging.